Good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll. Yeah, I think it is an important topic to talk about with grassroots, and we've talked about it a lot, and for sure. I don't. I wouldn't say he's grassroots, but I think we have to start this podcast with probably the. I would still say, despite all the signings and everything else that happened in Vancouver, the biggest story of the week has to be the announcement of the retirement of John Garrett at the end of the season. He has
Mm-hmm.
called games regionally since the early 2000s. He's called on Hockey Night in Canada. He even called, by the way, Flames games, by the way, with Ed Whalen back in
Yes.
the day.
Yes.
So he has been really well known. Um, I think it was. I don't know if I would say I was shocked. I just never really thought that the end of this era would come with John Garrett, but it is here. Um, and yeah, I guess where do we start? What do we start when we say John Garrett?
Raise your
John.
hot dog for him.
I
Raise your
should have
burger
brought
for
my
him.
ketchup out.
Yeah,
As someone who's actually met him in person, luckily enough, a few years back, I started badgering Dan Murphy on Twitter about uh, John Garrett and his burger exploits. Should go and check out the Pig and Duke Pig Challenge, and took a couple seasons, but I ended up organizing that with the help of Dan Murphy and Stephen Loudon, and we were able to get them down there. And he's everything that you know on TV. He's that person in person. He's just down to earth, just this lovable guy, and I love he's added flavor and color and entertainment, especially during tough games, where especially over the past few years, unfortunately for the Canucks, those shoes are gonna be tough to fill. He may not be the most analytical color commentator. He may not be the most educational color commentator, but he's an entertaining one. I know I've gotten into many discussions with people about him. They're saying, well, he doesn't really add anything, doesn't help. No, but he's entertaining, and he's John Garrett. He's Cheech.
Yeah.
Like he makes you laugh. Him and John, the chemistry that they have. I don't know if there's any other pairing group of play-by-play color commentator team that has that chemistry. I don't know. I don't think there is one, and he's going to be missed. And whoever fills that is going to they have to make it their own, because that's what John Garrett did. He didn't fall into where you have to break down plays and all that. He has his John Garrett soapbox moments almost every game, which was always hilarious. And then there was always the talk about food, which was always something to look forward to.
Yeah.
When I first started dating Heidi, she being a Flames fan would always go like, "Well, I want to watch the game on the Flames feed." And somehow I'd always win that argument. One of the very few ones I would win. But she grew to love those too, because they were entertaining.
Yeah.
Then they made you laugh, and it didn't. And he was a bit of a homer, and he's a bit of a homer in some ways, but in a lovable way. It's not like he's a jerk about it and just blind to it. He just does it in this just lovable uncle way. And watching regional Canucks games without John Garrett's going to take a lot to get used to, and I'm not ready. I am not ready.
Yeah. Question: is this not the final year of the Canucks TV rights? And then I think there was an extension announced earlier in the season or something, and there's a new rights deal kicking in next season. I think the
Yes.
timing coincides with that. So I guess we shouldn't have, in hindsight, been surprised that this possibility was there, but there was no rumors or anything floating around out there about John Garrett's status for next season. So it was a gut punch to hear that announcement on the telecast the other night. You could tell when Cheech was delivering it how heartfelt it was, and you could just tell that in the tone of his voice. Chicha believes, that the color analyst job is to provide color, probably more than analysis, and that's fine. It's the entertainment is what people like, especially in TV. It's a visual medium. You can see what's happening. You got the replays. A guy that's doing analysis as if he's paid by the word gets kind of tiring after a while. And John's always been so smooth with that. I mean, and he started way back in 1986 going, he was on, I think, the number 2 crew on Hockey Night in Canada at one point with Chris Cuthbert doing games well into the playoffs. And then moved over to Sportsnet and was part of their launch in 1998 and on their national package before they lost that to TSN. And then that's how he became the Canucks color guy and has been in that role since 2002. And I do want to say, people talk about his retirement, but he will be continuing on doing some national games, I believe, next year with Sportsnet. But he won't be doing the Canucks package anymore, which means he'll have less travel and some more time to explore the food exploits at home, I suppose. But yeah, an outstanding career from John Garrett, and I know we'll all miss him very much.